Hello. You look eager.
I'm very eager.
Welcome.
So eager.
Oh, what are you eager for?
I'm eager to cook something for you on one veggie at a time.
Oh, well, thank you for letting everybody know what they're watching.
Yes. Is that a hashtag one veggie at a time? Or you just say one veggie at a time and people know where to find you?
Well, hashtag is good.
And what about an at one veggie at a time? Is that like, what is the right?
Soon to be
Yeah.
at one veggie at a time. It's on its way.
All right. I'll trust you.
Thanks for clearing that up. Well, hello, everyone.
Hello.
This is Jonathan Fishman.
Hi. How are you? Nice to be here. This is fun.
This is fun. We have an exciting dish tonight. What are we cooking?
Okay, so when I originally learned how to make this 30 years ago, it had no name. So, but over time, as I've come to enjoy making it, I've just given it a certain panache, if you will.
Ooh, yes.
And now it has become a garlic tofu pine nut Florentine.
That sounds fancy.
It does. I can never quite remember the name, but that's what it is. And then we're going to complement it with just a very simple potato and onion dish.
Okay. Is this your concoction, or have you just kind of dealt with it over the years and expanded on a smaller?
The latter. It's something that I was introduced to. It was the first thing I was taught how to cook for a restaurant that I worked in, that I was the cook that I cooked in.
Oh, what was the name of this restaurant?
The name of the restaurant was Kapasan in technically Mansfield, Connecticut. Yeah,
I don't know whether he's lying or not, guys.
It's absolutely true.
Really?
It's absolutely true. And Bill, the owner, he taught me how to make this thing. I was the weekend cook, and so I made this breakfast thing. Now, what's great about this meal is you don't have to just limit it to breakfast. You could eat it any time of the day. And what changes it, if you have it with a cup of coffee, it's breakfast. And when you have it with a glass of wine, it becomes a dinner. So either way, it works. So enjoy
breakfast for dinner.
So just know that. So should we dive in? Should we start doing something?
Let's do something.
So the first thing I like to do is I like to get the onions moving. Because I'll tell you more about the dish as we go, but I feel the need to, because things take a little while to cook.
Sure.
I've got to get cooking, otherwise I'll be very antsy. So what I like to do with the onion first is I like to get it under hot water, because I like to get rid of the vapors from the onion that make me weep. So I was taught that if you can get an onion under the hottest water imaginable, which this is not, so there may be tears.
So that's the technique.
That's the technique. That's the technique. And then basically all you're doing here is you're dicing up your onions. And you're getting that done.
This is
and then
fast.
This is, we don't need this little sliver over there. And then we put this in here. Oops,
Whoa.
that slid over there. How dare I? Okay, so that's good.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, you can cry over an onion when you're chopping it that fast.
And then
Jesus.
we get it into our oil.
Okay,
so
what
that we can begin to saute the
Okay.
onion, basically.
All right.
Right? No, did you have a question about that?
No, I'm just wondering
right
what.
So now what we're going to do
digging
is
in.
we had the oil going a little bit to get it warm, but we'll bring that up a little higher.
Okay.
And we'll keep our eye on that. The other thing that's nice to put in here, and what I didn't tell you about, is we talked about pine nuts. We'll get to those in a second with the tofu. Okay. But we've got both the we've got minced garlic and we've got some fresh garlic. So this is really for the dish later to come. But while we're here and we have a moment, let's just get a little fresh garlic going and add that to the onion.
Okay.
I don't quite know why that is, because it's really the same family. But it seems to make a different flavor and add something, right? It's just nice. And if anything, it makes us feel like we're cooking. Like we're actually, we're pretending to cook.
We're pretending.
Yes.
This is all pretend.
Yes.
Nothing is real here.
No, not at all.
It's all fantasy world.
So.
Okay, well, I feel some garlic or onions in the air, at least.
Yes.
I got it. I got a whiff.
I hope you didn't get splattered with any oil.
I did not.
Okay, the next thing we need to get going as soon as possible, because this takes between the onions. Oh, squirted that all over the place. But it's just water, everybody, so it's not a problem. Now, usually when I do this dish, I think one of the reasons why I was most drawn to it when I was taught it is because you started with a giant slab of tofu, right?
Okay.
A brick of tofu.
Well, you would get a bigger version at a restaurant, right? Like you would get like industrial size?
I don't know. I don't know where he bought it at the time. I couldn't tell you where it came from.
It was bigger
but I
than
remember
this?
it was bigger than this.
What is this?
So when I didn't realize I bought pre-cubed tofu.
Oh my
So
God.
they actually make that. I probably paid a premium for this because the labor's already been done, which I completely object to because the whole reason I like this dish is to slice in. So I'm going to pretend for a moment, you know, with that slicing in to the tofu. It's just, you all know the satisfaction of cubing your own tofu. I mean, nothing, you could just walk away, right? That's a knife drop right there. You could walk away and do that. So anyway.
I've never seen this.
So I've already drained some
tofu.
I've already drained some tofu.
All right.
But I still, you know, I'll use that probably the next time.
Okay.
So that all smells good. The onions are doing great over there.
Do we need to stir the onions?
Sure, please do that.
Do we need to get them? Because these are, from what I'm learning, is they have to be translucent, right? That's where we want this to go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And make sure that we put just a little bit of garlic in there. If you can evenly distribute the pieces of garlic, it really doesn't matter. It just, I'm just busting it out.
No.
So this is exciting for me to actually be involved in cooking in a cooking show because I've been drawn. I think a cooking show is what drew me into wanting to be in show business as a child.
Right, because you used to watch what
The
show?
Galloping Gourmet. Graham Kerr, a British guy, and it was afternoon TV, and he would cook these meals, but he did it with such, he was like basically doing stand-up comedy while he was chopping up vegetables. And he had this audience of women that at the end he'd pull up one of them and they'd sit down at a table to eat what he had cooked. And everybody was like, ooh, it's wonderful. And it just seemed so glamorous and wonderful. And it was food, which we all love. Now,
And you learned dishes from him?
I don't know.
No.
I don't,
You learned to
can't
be a
say.
stand-up from him.
Probably.
That's what you got out of
He's
it.
my, he's my
We got our fire
reference.
going?
All right, so we got fire going. So what you need to do is, while this is getting really hot, we need, and I don't know if you want to try, just totally sprinkle. You want to cover.
What is this?
This is, oh, I'm sorry, it's minced garlic. So we're going to totally cover because this is going to, as this gets crispy.
Am I?
Yes, well, do what you're doing because it'll be, if you can evenly distribute it everywhere, but be very, don't be judicious with it. Be very liberal with it. There's the word. Don't be conservative, be liberal. That's loaded, but still. We're keeping politics out of it.
We're cooking with politics. And then I flip it after I'm liberating it.
Yes. But we'll let the bottom
We'll
of
come
that.
back. I don't need to do all of this, or do all of this.
Do a little bit more. You know, really make sure as much of that white stuff is covered. You know, you have like a little spot there. That's very OCD of me. I need that covered. Okay, so that's good. You're good now. Because that tofu needs to harden up and crisp up, and then we'll be able to add our other vegetables.
And you
that we're gonna
chop
put in
this?
there.
What is this again? Pine nuts? No.
The pine nuts are coming after we get the tofu going. This right now is just garlic, but it's instead of garlic powder, it's more minced. And if you want to wipe off,
It's sticking. I feel like licking my fingers, but I won't.
Okay. You want to use the sink right over there?
No, we're good.
Let's do that.
We'll keep going.
Okay.
What else do we got?
All right, so we're going to let that sit for the moment.
So we're done with our...
We're going to put that in there.
Tofu.
So now, what's going to happen is eventually the onions will be translucent. They'll be sautéed.
Right.
All that wonderful sweetness.
Yes.
So what we also had needed to do, you know, is take a potato or two, because as part of that onion dish, it's the potatoes with it. And this is just cutting it up. Would you like to do one of these the way that I've done it?
Yeah, I'll copy you.
See if you can duplicate that masterful cutting of a russet potato.
So two and...
There you go. That was it. I've done it, and let's see what you come up with.
This is a test?
Yeah.
You don't think I can do this?
Through it?
You have no faith.
I actually do think you could handle this.
Thank you.
So Antoinette and I actually know each other. We completed a short film recently.
Oh, did we?
Called The Family Affair. And so we highly recommend that you check that out online. You can search YouTube for Family Affair, and it's there. And it was really fun. It was a fun thing. So actually, and I'm surprised that we're actually still talking to each other. But you know what it is? We're not really talking to each other. We're cooking together, and that really is the international language. It's food. So that brings us to commonality piece.
Oh my God.
That's pretty good. That's good. That's
good.
awesome.
Okay.
What you're
See,
doing.
I know what I'm doing. Sometimes.
Okay, that's really great what you've done.
Okay.
I like that a lot.
Okay.
Okay, leave those for now.
Oh,
and now, We'll come back to them. That was a great job.
Okay.
And now if you wouldn't mind tossing these around. And let's see if we're starting to brown. We want to see if, yeah, it's not really starting to brown yet, so we're gonna do a little higher heat.
Okay.
So those are fine right now.
I gotta stir the onions though.
Great.
All right.
Do that.
Oh yeah, these are getting done. Should we turn the heat down on these?
No, leave it the heat there for now, because now come back over here, because now we can talk about the potatoes.
Okay.
So we cut up the potatoes, and then normally what we would do, as we'll do right now, is we come over and we put it in our, we've started, the water is boiling, and the reason we want to boil the water is it'll make it a little bit, the potato will be a little bit softer when we add it to the pan, and it won't take so long to cook. It's a little faster, but because we don't really have the time today, we already have potatoes.
Oh my God, we have done potatoes?
So we have done potatoes. I'm a little worried that they're a little overdone. They should be on the hard side. I feel like these are a little bit mushy.
They look like they're ready for mashed potatoes.
Right, so that is a concern.
What am I doing with these?
We're going to now scoop those into our wonderful saute.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think we could probably do that now.
Okay, go.
All right, you want me to?
Well, I only have two arms.
You all right? Did you need to stop and clean up anything? No, don't.
No.
That's good. Put that down.
Right.
Well done. Don't sweat that. That's all good.
Just a little mess. That's what we like. This is cooking, right?
This is cooking. I think that's what it is all about, right? It's permissible to make a mess. It's like you're 5 years old and you get to do whatever you want. And your parents tell you that, oh, look what you've done. It's fantastic. And it's really just a piece of crap. But we tell our kids that. So,
that's what you told your kids?
Probably.
It was a piece of crap.
Yeah. No.
You guys heard it here.
No. I told them it was great. Even if it was what someone might deem a piece of crap. But of course, my kids never make any crap. My kids are amazing.
Yes.
If you ever see this, know that I've said that.
But you thought you've been a cook since you were 11, 10 years old?
Yes, I got it. My mother first taught me how to scramble an egg when I was probably 6 years old. And then when I was 10 or 11, I thought I was this masterful baker because I could make a Duncan Hines cake, I followed the recipe on the box. And I thought I was a genius. That I was a child prodigy because I could make a cake. My specialty was the bundt cake.
Yeah?
The bundt cake because of the shape of it. And of course, for some reason, I didn't equate the fact that the shape of it was the shape of it because of the mold of what it was baked in. So somehow I felt responsible for creating this amazing shape. And I love trying to drizzle the frosting all the way around it and try to make it look like the picture on the box.
Oh my God. So who broke the news to you that you weren't really a baker? What? We said
no one. Why?
Duncan Hines.
I'm a baker.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Breaking news time. What news is there to break? Is there something that I've said that isn't accurate?
That Betty Crocker Duncan Hines
so anyway,
isn't
I don't know.
It's add an egg.
No,
that makes it
actually,
baking, right?
you asked a great question.
That's what they did back in the day with housewives, was to make it look like they did a recipe, was the cake mixes didn't need to do anything, just mix it and bake it. They wanted the housewives to feel like they cooked or baked, so they add the option to add an egg. You did not know that.
That's where the add an egg came from?
Yep.
I had no idea.
Yep.
Wow, shout out to people who enjoy the adding an egg.
On avocado toast.
On avocado toast. All right, so what we need to also now do is, this is firming up and becoming really lovely.
Oh, okay.
It's now time to add some, so do you want to add these?
Do we mash this?
No, these are going to roast with this tofu now.
All of this?
Yes. Not all of the bowl, just let's see, let's feel it out.
Oh.
And that's where, that was the question you asked me. So what broke the news to me was that when Bill taught me how to make this, and there was no recipe. There was no measuring anything. It was all about, it seemed that he was concocting it based on the way that he knew he wanted it to taste. So, and that was mind-blowing to me. So that's the way I've cooked ever since. I don't follow recipes. I don't, if I might read a recipe and get a list of ingredients in my brain that sound really wonderful, but but that's what I love about cooking. It's about just do whatever. There's no rules.
Yeah, when I do
potatoes on the
that,
floor.
yeah, when I just do that and throw everything in, it doesn't ever go and it doesn't taste good. More. So you have to know what flavors work. Yeah, you didn't say.
No, it's good. You're perfect. So if you wouldn't mind mixing those up.
Okay, what are we trying to make these pine nuts do?
They're gonna just get more brown and roasted.
Oh, okay. So we let that simmer?
So we just keep letting that go.
Okay.
We want to keep getting that as toasty.
Do we want to stir our...
We want to make that as crisp as we can before we add in our veggies, which are going to be the last piece, and they're going to simmer for a while, and that'll be nice.
All right.
And feel free to stir that too, because now that's going to get more crispy, which is what we want it to do.
Do we need more garlic in here?
Would you like to add more garlic?
Yes.
Can
we? We only did one. We got a lot of potatoes here.
Do you want the minced garlic? Do you want to add this in?
Fresh.
The fresh garlic.
Well, that's already crunchy.
That's awesome. I'm happy to do that.
Well, I don't know. It's your recipe. I don't know if I...
No, please. This is fantastic. Isn't this your job? Aren't you supposed to be responsible for getting people to cook good things?
Yes.
Or we're just supposed to show up here?
You're supposed to tell me how to make a good meal.
But I think cooking also can be very collaborative, you know? There's no rules. Like I say, there's no rules, and somebody is going to add their little spice, if you will, no pun intended, of course. Okay. And that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah.
How's that?
So I'm throwing more potatoes out of the pan, so we're not doing well on potatoes.
Well, as long as we have enough to taste at the end to know if we've come close to something that's interesting. Now, the main seasoning of this dish over here, the tofu, it's what? Starting to look pretty good, right? So the main seasoning of this dish, which some people will object to, is tamari, and I say that they will object to it because it's so high in sodium. They make a low sodium version of this. They make all different kinds, and the reason some people like the tamari better than the soy sauce because it is a gluten-free alternative. I don't have it for that. I just happen to like. I was introduced to this dish as tamari. I did once try it as soy, and it just didn't. Now we don't want to add a lot right now, but just for the flavoring to get that in there because it is so high in sodium that you don't want to go too crazy. But it's nice to help it bake in.
They're really going brown quickly.
Yeah, they really are.
Wow.
So good idea. Turn that lower.
That's not.
Well, we don't need it to be. We don't want them to burn. And it almost looked like maybe that was starting to happen. And maybe I added the pine nuts too soon because the tofu isn't quite exactly where I'd love it to be yet.
What do we want it to be?
You see how you have it this way on this side? That
yeah.
firmer coating? We would like all of them to be that way on all sides. Yeah, that's a beautiful one.
So we want them to look like that?
Like a crouton, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
all right. And what is this dish again? What are we making?
So this is, as you can smell, it's a garlic tofu pine nut, and the Florentine becomes Florentine because we're going to add spinach, and we're also going to add tomato because that's just a personal preference of mine. And then we're just going to let that stew a little bit, and then the dish will be done. And that's really as simple as it is. And now it's just a matter of, getting our tofu a little bit more crispy. Okay. Well, you also have a pilot that you are producing. Yes. So I'm working on a TV pilot script that a friend of mine, Annie C. Wright, had written a while back that she actually won a Sundance Lab Award for, and it's really funny. I think it's really wonderful. There's a great role in it for me, so there's nothing selfless about this. And so you're also starring in it. So I'm in it. It's a wonderful ensemble piece. It's one of those great Thursday night TV shows like The Office and Parks and Rec, and it's all baked, ready for TV. It's just a wonderful pilot. The characters are fantastic, and the scenes are great, and it's funny and it's topical because it's about old people and more of us, no exception. I think that's what I'm motivated by, perhaps, is that you've got such an aging population, and just from a mercenary standpoint, if the population is aging and that's where the audience is, well, let's make entertainment for that group of people. What's mercenary mean? Just it's all about the cash, So I'm very excited about that pilot, and that should be great. And we're in the middle of casting and finding team and pulling people together to make it happen. So that's exciting. Yeah.
All right. That's great.
All right. So where are we? I don't want to forget. It's so easy to get lost in the conversation and forget the task at hand. So what we're going to now do, I think we're good enough at this point to now add in, because now we're going to get a lot of moisture with our tomatoes. Did we cut? Well, we would have cut up a tomato. Do we need to show people how we should cut up a tomato?
I trust that you know.
We pre-cut this just so we don't waste time with that. And that's going to add some
moisture. And for color
too.
or just flavor, you cut it
I love tomato, and I specifically in this dish. Now this diverges away from what Bill had originally shown me. By the way, Bill's original show was really just about the tofu, the pine nuts, and the tamari. Those were the tastes that he introduced to me. I decided that because I like to incorporate fresh vegetables whenever I can, that I would incorporate spinach and tomato, and I just think that just goes so well together.
So you've enhanced it.
I've enhanced it.
Nice. Okay.
And what I do, well, maybe the tomatoes cook down a little bit more, but we don't have to wait for that right now. So if you, spread that evenly throughout the pan. Okay. That's fantastic what you're doing. So just give that as even. Great. And then what we're going to do, and if you'd like to, we're going to just kind of cover the entire dish with the spinach. And we're just going to let the steam, right on top. And we're going to let the steam, you can put as much of that as you want, because the spinach just cooks down, it's all water. And we just spread that around, and we will let the steam, all right, that's enough. You're getting carried away. Getting carried away now. Ooh, as I kill myself. Great.
I'm getting carried away.
So
you have the spinach out.
What's happening now is that the steam of what's coming through will just naturally, steam the spinach and just suck it into the dish.
So it's not necessarily sauté, because I'm used to like the spinach being on the pan and...
It's going to get there. We're going to do that. But this is the way I like to introduce the spinach into the dish. Okay. Because I still need some of the other stuff to cook and firm up and get hardened.
Oh,
and the tomatoes are having that time with the hot surface right now. Fantastic. And now the spinach will be... It's really interesting what one can come up with when asked a question. And I've never thought about the answer to the question you just asked me, but yet I gave you an answer.
So you just winged it.
Pretty much. No, but I do. Like, I have this thought about the spinach and how it goes in. That is kind of a religious experience for me, the whole thing.
Okay. Oh my God, do I need to go back to...
Yeah, check those potatoes, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. Oh, they're sticking to the bottom. Are they done?
Yeah. No, not quite yet. But what you can do is you just flip them over so that what was on the bottom, just reverse it all. Great. And just evenly spread that around. Those can even, because it's nice to crisp them up.
Oh.
It's a lot more fun.
Like so a hash brown.
Yeah, it's become more of a mash than the original. The original intention was that if you would properly, if I hadn't overcooked them, they would still have retained some rigidity, so they would have just still fried up as a cube rather than a mush. But the taste will be the same, and the complement between the two dishes will be awesome. So I'm going to hasten this process a little bit.
Do what?
It's too slow just to allow the steam
to cook it.
Because we do.
You're anxious.
Well,
you're impatient.
And the smell of this is so
good. It is.
And
I think it's just garlic, right?
I mean, you never go wrong with garlic.
Garlic
should just be added to everything.
There's the potato here.
And then you can really get away with anybody can call themselves a cook when they just simply cook with garlic, because people will enjoy it, and you come across as the greatest cook that people have recently tasted.
That's your goal.
No, but it's just nice to be thought of that way.
Okay. Great.
Jack of all trades, master of none. I'm adding a bit more tamari.
Oh, why?
It just felt like it. It felt like it needed. No, it's a great question, but it just felt like I was like stirring it around. I'm tasting it, and tasting. I was smelling and tasting, and I'm like, what does this need?
You tasted it already?
Didn't touch it with my lips. This is all.
Did he taste it already?
I'm having to go to the videotape.
I'm going to have to go play this back.
I'm so not worried, unless you guys are really fast at photoshopping or changing something, and then it'd be fake news, and no one will believe me.
Okay, well maybe I'll believe you.
So it's
looks
coming
good.
along. It's coming along.
I don't know if you guys can see this. It's looking
And it just
really
needs a
amazing.
little bit more time.
Because we need now we're waiting on the tomatoes still,
Yeah.
right?
So while we're waiting,
yeah.
to shamelessly plug myself yet more, it's been a good time for me. I just recently got cast in a brand new play that's going to open September at the Rose Theater in NoHo called Constantinople. It's about the whole Turkish Armenian.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's historical fiction. I'm really drawn to that. So, and it's been a while since I've done a nice piece of theater. Where you just really get to sink yourself into living on stage for.
Well, your background
90 minutes.
is in theater mainly.
My background is in my theater. Ever since I was a child, it was like, oh hey mom, look at me, I'm up here on stage. So that's the school of acting that I come from. Mama Zlovsky is that school anyway. So I'm very excited to do some theater. So that's great. That's opening in the fall. So
okay.
Yeah.
Congrats! Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Thank you. I'm having a real issue right now because there's that tomato sitting that we didn't cut up. So I feel very
You're worried about that lonely tomato that got
I'm
left
worried about
all
it. I
by
mean, it's
itself.
good that we didn't use it and we don't consume it, so that's good. But yet,
We
I
can
feel
save
very
it.
incomplete.
I'm sure you can
It feels so lonely
have
over
another
there.
use for it.
It is a lonely tomato. You were right when you said that.
It's the only thing that didn't get used. Oh, well, the tofu, the pre-packaged tofu that we drained.
That's true. We didn't
So
use
it's
that
not
either.
alone.
Can I put that back in there? Will everybody be toast that? I won't do that.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It looks good.
Yes,
I
it
don't
looks
know.
good.
I think it's ready.
Yeah? Would you like to try it?
Oh, my God.
Would you just give those a flip and see how we're doing over there?
Sure. Oh, I think I'm not
Great.
doing well with the
That's
potatoes.
great. No, you're doing perfectly well with the potatoes because the potatoes themselves cause a challenge because, as you see, at that pan, it's sticking a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's good. I turned off the heat.
Okay.
All right, so let's serve up some.
Okay. Oh, now?
Sure.
Oh.
You tell me.
I'm doing this. Okay.
Right?
Yeah?
So we're gonna do two
Okay.
plates, or we'll just
Yeah.
do one for you. We're starting with you, right?
You. I'm not doing this alone.
Okay. You're not the trier.
Yeah. Well, if I'm not trying it alone.
Okay. Scooch on down.
It's an assembly
See, the
line.
color is so great, right?
Yes.
Just that in itself.
How much am I doing?
And they say food it's 80% preparation. The way that it comes to you, the visual, and what it does for your senses accounts for 80% of your enjoyment, just because of the way it looks. So this could be horrible, but at least we already have that 80% going for us.
Oh no, it looks so good.
Would you like a knife
This
or is
color
it,
and everything
is a fork
is
just
amazing.
do it for you?
Yeah, fork is good. Am I first or you first? What am I trying first?
Okay, so you're trying. So let's repeat for the people at home who may have forgotten what we've done. There's so many ingredients. So we've got tofu and pine nuts. You can see those in there quite easily.
Yes.
And we've got the spinach and we've got the tomato. And on this side, we basically have garlic. We have a little garlic in here with the onion and the potato.
Yeah.
And you can start with whatever you want. And I'm not offering you any condiments to go with
well,
it
you
because
put all the Tamari
I
in
believe that this is the way it's prepared. I mean, if you taste it and say, please give me something else, then great. But it's not like you're getting ketchup with this meal.
Oh, well, we got the tomatoes. Okay.
That's true. But then we have this lonely tomato over here. That's a lot of pressure for you. Like every time you do the show, you're now the taster, and everybody's like, "Yeah, so." I mean, it's awkward. Oh, don't do that. Not on this episode anyway, because I'm here.
This is really good.
So, really?
I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like the little pine
That's
nuts.
high praise.
That's fun. They're little crunchy
How's the
bits.
tofu? Is it cooked enough?
How do you know if tofu?
You know.
No.
And this is okay. Everybody knows that when you eat tofu that's not cooked enough, you just know.
How do you know?
I think, well, it's a personal preference, so you know if it's right for you.
I don't know.
That's good though. The tofu would be a little crispier, or we didn't have the time. But I think you get the gist of it. Like if you were to do this yourself at home, you would do it. You would know what to do.
Oh yeah. I do this 5 days a week.
Okay, so
Now I'm going to potatoes.
the potatoes, interesting.
Uh-oh.
Huh.
What happened?
What do you have to say about them? It's your show. Can't tell you what I think first.
I could use more garlic. I don't know, I like garlic. Because there's so much garlic in this that now my taste buds want more out of this.
Yeah, it needs flavor. It just doesn't, the onions, maybe I need more onions, because those Vidalia onions I love because they're so sweet, but I'm missing that sweetness in here. And it also could use a little salt. But I hated to add salt because since I used the tamari and the other thing, I'm like, it's a lot of sodium, but this really needs a little salt. But it's okay. But you know, just to be honest, I guess it could have faked it, huh? Boy, that was a
it's
mistake.
his dish. Hey.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I want to eat some more.
Good.
And oh my God, something's still on.
Oh.
I still hear. Yeah, we don't want to burn that.
Good catch.
So before that burns, I want to get more of this in my stomach. So Jonathan, hello, welcome back. If people want to find you, get a hold of you, come see your play.
And my stand-up too. Occasionally I do stand-up when I post when I'm somewhere doing stand-up. I'm at This Is Fishman on both Instagram and Twitter. Not that I'm really a presence on Twitter. And thisisfishman.com is where you can find out everything that's going on and links to all the various enterprises.
Cool, awesome. Yeah. And don't forget to check out our short film that we did.
A Family Affair, which you can link to off of the thisisfishman.com too.
Or Antoinette Westcott.
Oh, that's fine. All right.
Oh.
Whatever. She's got a lot more views already. So I need a little bit more love. So
give him some love, yes, please.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
it's so nice of you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, we're still talking to each other. We got through this.
We got through
awesome.
it.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Thanks for tuning in.